Everybody, please have a seat and welcome to the AI Collective event, our panel discussion. Hopefully this will work. Let me see. Okay, great. So this is an event by the AI Collective, and I will go into a little bit more detail about what the AI Collective is. A little bit about myself. I'm a creative marketing lead. I've worked on marketing campaigns for Amazon, Google, Apple, Stanford, and Walmart e-commerce. I taught an Intro to AI night course at Kenyatta College. I'm also developing and will be teaching a summer AI media and design course at UC Berkeley. And I'm also an advisor to the AI Collective, focused on marketing and community building. A little bit about the AI Collective. This will be really brief. What is the AI Collective? We are a grassroots nonprofit uniting a global community of over 150,000 members. Together, we explore the frontiers of AI across major tech hubs worldwide. We started in 2023 with one chapter. It's that classic 12 people in an apartment room. And 3 years later, we have 100 chapters in 30 countries with 150,000 members. And we've to date had 300 plus worldwide events. So we really have a really strong understanding of the global AI ecosystem. And last year, my goal was to kind of make sure that the organization went global. This year, my goal is to bring the creative AI community to the organization. So I've been having hackathons, video hackathons, panel discussions. And if you want to come to these events, please reach out to me or sign up with our organization. And just briefly, our mission is to exchange insights, deepen human connection, because in this digital world, we really do believe meeting people face to face is really important. And then to drive collective progress like we are today. We are going to share insights with regards to the creative space from people that are pioneers in this area. And so if you want, please join. Hit up the QR code. I'm going to be having a lot of panel discussions, hackathons, et cetera, et cetera. But without further ado, I will go into our panel discussion. And I will just have everybody quickly introduce themselves and tell the audience, what your role is in this space and how you are changing this whole industry.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Okay, do you want to go?
My name is Paul Byrd. I am the founder of 13 Layers. We are a company that is based around image creation, design, illustration, video production. And for the last 3 or so years, we've integrated AI into our systems and workflows. We're doing everything that you could think of under the sun to integrate AI and finding amazing results in its usage.
Check. Hi, I'm Matt Silverman. I'm the Chief Creative Officer, founder of iBelieveInSwordfish. We're a motion design studio located up in San Rafael. We mostly work with all the big tech companies down here in the valley on all sorts of motion design projects, animation, character animation, visual effects, virtual production. A lot of Unreal Engine. The last few years, we've been digging in heavily into Gen AI and using it on our real-world production. So we're excited about the future.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matty. I'm from ElevenLabs. For those who are unfamiliar, we are a startup focused on AI audio. So anything with voiceover, sound effects, music. We are first and foremost a research company, but also lead a lot of great go-to-market efforts. I run our film and TV moonshot initiatives, namely the Chroma Awards, which is our version of the Olympics, where we bring together all of the different amazing foundational model companies, Google, ByteDance, Kling, etc., and all of the application layer companies like Freepik as well, to show what's this gauntlet where everyone's pulling their resources, their creative talent to show what is possible with AI filmmaking. That's not just art house indie narratives, but it's spec ads, it's music videos, it's everything under the sun. So we're excited to be here, and we do a lot of partnerships with the AI Collective.
My name is Paula Vivas, and I work at Freepik too. Like he mentioned, we are the platform that glue everything together. We collaborate and have partnership with the models in order to have all the video models, image model generation. We have our own editing tools. We acquired Magnific a little bit ago, and now we have the best upscaler in the market in our platform. And not only that, we are hosting, I think it's 900,000 subscribers for now. So a little bit of history there. And other than that, we have our own conference called Upscale, where we invite all creatives, people that we have sitting here, ElevenLabs, we invite all the brands to talk about the future of creativity and what and how everything is going in the space.
What's the date of that event?
Oh, thank you. The date of that event, the next one is going to be in June in San Francisco. It's going to be on the 3rd and 4th of June. So you're more than welcome to later ask me to go or go to the website, upscaleconf.com, and you will find out more about that.
Thank you. All right, so let's get started. So let's talk about the current state of AI. You know, from 25 to 2026, you know, a lot has changed. What has been the biggest change in each of your eyes with regards to this space? And this could be open-ended, and feel free, anybody, to jump in.
I can start if you let me. I would say enterprise. Like I feel at the beginning of 2025, we were also really pro-consumer. Everyone was trying it out. It was experimental. We were like getting into the AI slump that we have been talking about all the time. And this past year and 2022, we have received a lot of inbound from different companies, Fortune 500 companies, saying, hey, we want to implement this. Like they are not scared about being the one not using AI. They're scared now of being the last ones in using AI and implementing AI in their workflow.
Yeah, I'll add on that. I would actually say, for me, using AI since 2025 to 26 has been a tremendous change in the way that these programs and models are really adversely affecting some of the work that we're doing. So what I've done is definitely figure out ways to deep dive into them and get better solutions. There's a lot of models now that have high levels of capability that 3 years ago was not even capable, where we're talking about the level of detail, the high fidelity, camera motion and tracking that can really be used for professional usage. Whereas a couple of years ago, you would hope and wish that you would get a consistent image or a consistent video. Now we're at a point where it's a lot of testing is done and we're just actively doing professional development with it.
The biggest leap and bound I've seen from the competition, at least watching 6,500 submissions, was the introduction of a much more multimodal model. So before you would make your audio separately, you do your lip sync and another thing, you make your image, make your video. But now they have much more one-stop shops where it's all integrated from one prompt. You're able to get your video, lip sync, audio. And I think that there's this consolidation where there are a lot of startups who are trying to solve the same problem space, but a lot of the big tech companies have these, rolled out these features that essentially made a lot of these companies obsolete. But it's kind of converging under these big players. I'd say Google, ByteDance, the ones who are backed. I forget who had made this point at Upscale Day, but all of the big video models are all backed by a social media platform. Yes. Kling has Kuaishou, which is kind of like Chinese TikTok. ByteDance has TikTok. Google has YouTube. So I think not only do they have the training data, but they also have the distribution capabilities, similar to, if anyone's seen the viral Sora app. I think that's a good example of that.
I think the biggest thing that happened last year, looking back 12 months, 1 year ago today, We probably were in a case where text to image was, in my mind, kind of perfected. We got to a point where Midjourney could produce photographic images that are, top level quality. So images, text to image about a year ago was perfected, but video wasn't. Over the course of the last 12 months, image to video has become almost perfected. We're using it now on professional productions where I feel like this is the best way actually to get these shots done, better than shooting live action. And animation too, cell animation. So I feel like the image to video this year took a massive leap with VO and with Sora 2, Kling. But then we circled back to still images and what they did with Nano Banana and the ability to edit still images using Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro. Now we're dealing with image editing that is getting perfected. And the next step is going to be basically Nano Banana Pro for editing video. So we now need to take the last step, which is video to video models and editing of video models. So that's what's coming next. And the most importantly to me, the thing that happened in the last year is what I call the rise of the host applications. We previously were working either using something like Comfy UI as a host application, which was incredibly complex. We needed, at my studio, my CTO, technical director, would need to compile GitHubs and get everything working for us. It's not for a casual user, not even for a professional user like myself. We've been given easy to use host applications over the past 12 months, such as FilmSpark AI we use. It was previously called MovieFlow. We use Weavy. You now have Freepik. These host applications, if you think about it, it's like 3D applications didn't exist, and all we had were renderers. So we had RenderMan, and we had V-Ray, and we had Octane, but we didn't have Maya or Cinema 4D yet. We had all of these different rendering plugins without a host application. We had Sora, and we had VO, and we had Kling. These host applications now give us the central tool that we need as professional filmmakers to render to these models and give us the UX to tie it all together.
Cool, that leads us to my next question. With regards to workflow, there's like no one size fits all, and I need to catch up. I need to play with these tools a lot more. But can each of you walk us through the process, high level, for creating a short film from first image to final sound mix and how they all work together?
I think one step that people often do is they start with their audio layer, because the video generation is expensive and you want to get your timing down. You want to make sure that each shot actually makes sense in your sequence, where you're pacing it right. You're doing even audio to video, where it's kind of like that pre-viz. So what we see a lot of people doing is laying their voiceover track. That helps them make their storyboard, and then being able to use these image and video platforms.
I think it's a very similar process that we always took to create our projects, where, we start with an animatic, or, we start with mood boards. What are the, give me some inspiration. We used to pull them off in Pinterest. We pull them off of Google. Now we could start those mood boards right in Gen AI, and the beauty is that those mood boards actually are legit style frames that we could then move forward on. We don't have to recreate a style frame based on the look of the mood board. So we have our style frames. We can now take those style frames. We could put them into an edit. We could cut the animatic to those style frames, make sure that it's all working to the timing, like we were talking about there. And that voiceover might come right out of ElevenLabs. We might record ourselves doing the voiceover, do a voice changer to a specific voice actor that we want to use. And then we go back to these static style frames, and we start converting all of those to video. If we're doing a video model like VO that has lip sync, the audio coming out of VO is not the same voice actor that I used in ElevenLabs. So I render that out, and then I import that movie into ElevenLabs and do a voice changer on the garbage VO voiceover, and do a voice changer over to my voice actor. So the process is very similar to the way we've always worked with traditional digital workflows. The order of operation in some of these cases changes.
And can I follow up with you in that question? Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Like, do you feel like with this new workflow that you're describing, do you feel like it's production ready? Do you feel like it's missing one
We're
part?
using it on productions for our clients here in the Valley. So publicly traded companies like IBM are getting full AI videos from us. So yeah, it's working. Yeah.
I know somebody who's pitching AI commercials for the Super Bowl right now. So, I mean, it's coming.
I hope they are using Freepik then.
Of course. And ElevenLabs.
Yes.
Great. Unless anybody else has anything to say about workflow, let's talk about limit.
We got
Yes.
Yeah, I
Paul.
would say pretty much the same as like what Matt said about going through the traditional manner of storyboarding, development. We do also use ElevenLabs and Freepik together. It's been an amazing tool as far as being able to have the flexibility of voice and narration. I've used it on a number of projects already where no matter documentary or commercial use. Amazingly, a lot of people are surprised at the high level of voice accuracy that it gives and the humanistic sounds that you could get from it. Yeah.
I feel like with Freepik, not that we are filmmakers ourselves, even though we have Freepik Studio that is not dedicated to that, but what I see a lot is a lot of iteration in the first layer, right? Like a tool like Freepik, a platform that let you iterate with all the content, like let you send all the different sections to the client, like collaboration, let to use spaces for a lot of like comment in all the frames. Okay, I would like this, but I would like it with a red jacket, or I would like this, but I would like it with a different sound. And you can pull ElevenLabs then and like make another sound of that. Like, I feel like in that workflow, collaboration is really key before sending everything over.
Cool. Let's talk about limitations. So, as filmmakers and as folks in the space, what are some of the limitations right now?
I think limitations go as far as long form generation. Sometimes what we'll see is temporal drift or flickering, sometimes hallucination within the AI models, which is constantly being perfected on with the models and updates. As far as a couple of years ago, when you saw models, I mean, like I said, you would get a lot of wild stuff generated and hoping that you would get one consistent, even second in some cases. Now what we're looking at is you can generate consistently with high levels of quality. So some of that is being mitigated also with prompting techniques, which are being developed right now for better adherence.
I think the biggest limitation I see is not the tools themselves. I think anyone can spend 40, 80 hours watching YouTube tutorials and you'd be as good as any of the top AI filmmakers to a certain degree. I think the things that are really kind of falling behind, especially for AI native creators, are editing, pacing, using AI for the sake of AI versus being intentional about it. Having an eye and being able to curate and having taste is something that takes many, many years to develop. It's not something you can just learn overnight. So when you're getting these outputs, how do you determine which one you keep, which one you throw away? So I think that's something that people really need to put more energy into is just knowing what good filmmaking is and being able to emulate that and being able to learn from that. I think the people who are going to be best at using these tools are also the ones who are most alienated by it. This messaging of cheaper, better, faster disruption, this kind of Silicon Valley tech bro mentality gives creatives the ick. And they're going to be the best at using these tools. So how can we bridge that gap more? How can we bring these two sides together to show that they're not us versus them, but rather two sides of the same coin, trying to tell stories at the end of the day? But I think it needs a PR campaign. It needs a facelift because I think the technology is already there. It's just being able to connect the people on these teams to get them to start using it.
Yeah, I think we were having a discussion past this week, talking about if you're asking how cheaper am I doing this campaign or how cheaper am I doing this film or this short film, you're asking the wrong question. It was more about the intention, the storytelling, the differentiation between an artist and a content creator. The one that creates for the sake of creating and putting it out there, are the one that creates with intention and with like wanting to communicate something. So I agree. I was doubling down with what you were saying because I feel that's our limitation right away.
I think that those are very good points. The best AI, anybody can make a single shot meme. It's easy. You just type in words and you get something back. Anybody could do that. To make a film with a story and multiple shots, that's where it gets harder. And the best AI filmmakers I've found, the best work that I see, where I'll see somebody make a short AI film, they're editors. Great editors know how to tell a story. And the beauty is how many times have they been sitting in an edit bay and they're like, if the damn director, he didn't shoot me a cutaway, I need a cutaway, they could just make that cutaway now. Or me as a compositor, like I composite in a screen, I need a reflection of that actor to be screened back in over that. I can now make a reflection. So, and to that point, it's the traditional skill sets that we built over the last, myself, 30 years in this industry that is the key to the success. A lot of people can make a film and get it 80% of the way there. To get it over that last 20% to the finish line requires all of the little tricks and tips that I've learned over the last 30 years. That'll change over time. It'll get easier and easier, but right now, that's something you need. The other big limitation that I found, which didn't occur to me until you start digging in, is that, it's really easy to make a film if you've got one actor. You throw a second actor in that scene, now you got the chance that one actor is going to perform well and the other guy doesn't. And you could have a perfect version of that guy and that guy. What happens when the script calls for 7 people in that scene to be standing, to be in at one time? The exponentially, it gets harder and harder to control this stuff. This is all the stuff that you need to just learn from experience. And then you tell the client, no, we're not going to have 7 people in that scene. We're going to have 3 people in that scene. And you change the script. So anyway, there's limitations. You just don't know them until you start digging in, and then you will learn them.
The other big thing that I thought of was that you brought up was working in teams. I think AI filmmaking empowers you, so you don't need to fundraise, you don't need to be entrepreneurial, you can just do all those different parts of the process by yourself. But I think something is lost too, where there's something nice about being on set, to being in the edit bay with your friends and having that collaborative thing where everyone's adding a little bit to the mix, where you can but sometimes it's hard to see yourself and your work from that third person perspective. And I think AI filmmakers, they have trouble finding people to work with where you can delegate, one person's going to be the cinematographer, one person's going to be the sound designer, one person's going to be the screenwriter. I think we need to find better ways to connect people in that way.
And I agree. I think we're going to be showing some work that I did. And,
Yes.
and I looked at it like, hey, how would I have done this thing live action? And I said, I need a director of photography. So I had just discovered an amazing Mid-Journey artist online, Kelly Blosh. And I hired her to be my AI director of photography on this project. And she was able to then, create all of the characters, all the wardrobe, all of the environments, all of the props. And then we were able to show a bunch of variations and say, this scene to our client, it could be this actor, that actor, that actor, this environment. Client was then able to give their input, choose the actors, choose the environments. And then we went through and storyboarded the whole thing out. Once we had all the stills done from Mid-Journey, then we took it over, threw it all into FilmSpark AI, and started working on all the video shots. And then if we had really hard shots, we would move them into Weavy and create really complex networks. So anyway, yeah. Can you tell I am excited about this?
Quick question. How many people in the audience are actually using AI tools right now?
Okay, no
Wow,
bad.
that's cool. How many people are beginners? Cool.
Well, no. All raise your hands. We are all beginners here. We're all here.
Great. Thank you guys for that. Let's talk about enterprise. I think we talked a little bit about it, but I'd love to learn everybody's POV on enterprise and agency integration. I know you talked about it, but I have a friend that runs a global creative agency, and
That I don't know of, that you're going to present to me?
Of course, that makes his team every 3 months look at what AI tools we can use and really trying to be on top of the technology. And I thought, wow, every 3 months you're having your global team look at all the tools. And somebody else told me that, I have a friend that is pitching, AI commercials to the Super Bowl, clients. I'd love to get everybody else's POV on what's going on.
I'll start. They're insane. If they think that they're going to learn, if they think they're going to keep up doing it once a quarter, we have weekly hour lab meetings at my company over Slack just to go through brainstorming all the latest technology. And we keep it constant. There's a Slack channel where every day we'll see something and go, hey, there's a new Gen AI 3D model that we could use. Check it out. And anybody in their free time is going to go try it. Every week we huddle, we go through this technology, and we're using it. All these ad agencies are so far behind, and they have no clue. And I've worked with ad agencies for 30 years. I was probably conceived in the staircase of Ogilvy and Mather, New York, by my father, who is a copywriter, and my mother, who is a secretary. So
Can I work for you? Can I work for you?
What I'm getting at is the stuff is changing so fast. Yes. You need to keep up with it, and everything that you learn on every project is going to then make you go, hey, wait a minute, maybe I could use it on that. Maybe I could use it on that. Maybe I could use it to make my garden better. Maybe I could use it to take care of this lawsuit.
Yeah. So back to the question, though, how are agencies integrating?
Here comes my sales pitch. No, I'm kidding. He was pretty right. Like, we have new models come out every single day. We have new single features coming out every 5 minutes. Like, I think we made, like, during our first upscale conference, we made a media of, no, it's not called a media. Like, well, it was like a new feature in the last year every 2.4 days. And that was in 2024, November. So imagine now. The good thing about this is, like, Freepik does it for you. For a model, but like, it's something that Freepik will look for the best model that can work for you and your needs. We have partnership with every model. We have the best tools out there integrated in our platform, and we have spaces to offer you the workflow to, like, go step by step with it. So in terms of an enterprise, I agree and disagree with you. That the agencies are far behind, but there are some agencies out there that are trying. There are companies that are trying really hard. It's just they don't want to talk about it out loud. They don't want to share that they are not doing the craft part of it.
They've never done the craft. Eye opener, they hire people. They don't even know how to use Photoshop. They hire retouchers. So the reality is they hire production companies like us. They don't need to change anything. They just need to come up with a good idea, hire a production company like mine to create the work, just like they've done in the past. There's no change to the way that they should work because they're not technically literate.
Okay, I agree to disagree on that. I agree to disagree on that.
I do too, because I know the CTO of this agency, and they're very, very on top of it. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but there are people that are in the space that are really on top of it. And so they might not be on top of it as you are, but there are people that are.
They're not on top of it.
Okay.
I know they are not on top of it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll invite you on one of our meetings. But yeah, what I was saying, like, they are trying. They have just to lose the fear. Like, we've seen Coca-Cola do it. We've seen, like, many different companies out there that can talk freely or can speak without fear of backlash about AI and the use of AI. And we're going to see more coming up. We're starting with the small studios, AI studios that are sharing a lot of clients and a lot of case studies. So right now, I feel like 2026, we're going to see a lot of case studies going on. I feel before getting a client, you're asking them, can we do a case study first? You know, like we need to see AI out there used as a tool, as a collaborator, and not something that is gonna get you out of the way. And in terms of speed and being up to date, I mean, with editing tools, with Photoshop, with all the tools that have been, like, that's evolution. You have to be up to speed in order to be good at your job. So they will get there. I'm pretty hopeful, if you see me there, but I'm pretty hopeful about the space.
For ElevenLabs, for penetrating some of the enterprise market and agency point of view, we try to do things the right way. So for our music model, it's all fully licensed data. For the voice actors we work with who brought their voices to the platform, we did $5 million in payouts to them last year. We work very closely with a lot of the Hollywood agencies where we just announced Matthew McConaughey and Michael Caine are bringing their voices to the platform.
No
We have Judy Garland, Burt Reynolds, Sir Laurence Olivier, where we're working within these legacy systems where you have to respect the way things are done. Maybe the front end of production is democratized, but there are these stakeholders you have to play nice with, play by the rules, and especially for the commercial safe use cases like the music model, training data is very important. So we try to check all the boxes when it comes to that.
Yeah, in terms of legality and indemnification, you were saying they need to feel safe that they're not doing anything wrong, that they're using this and the output they're gonna get, they can use freely, right? So I feel like the legality and indemnification. And we also have a Freepik.
One cool case study at Sundance, they just had Pickford AI, and they had a SAG-AFTRA approved experience. I think it was called Whispers, and that was made with all ElevenLabs voices too. Where what you can do is you have a voice actor you really want to work with. You can be able to dub their voice in different languages. It's all, you get all the correct permissions. We don't allow deepfakes. We don't allow you to do things where you don't have the rights to the voice. That's a no-go. But working with these real people and being able to just hyperscale what they're already doing.
Cool. This leads me into my next question. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say also the same thing. With our team, we're always under iteration. So we're always checking out new models, new services that are provided to see how we could leverage them for creative outputs. One of the biggest things I would say is we're almost every other week, sometimes day. So we're actively engaged with figuring out the models and which ones we could leverage and utilize for better outcomes.
To that point, there's over 3,000 models out there floating around the web, and you don't want to try to figure them out yourself. And that's where these host applications like Freepik or FilmSpark or Weavy are going to give you curated models. They're going to say, hey, here's the latest and greatest 30. 99% of the time, you're not going to need to dig for the other ones. So I highly recommend trying to find the host, because that's going to give you the tool that you've been looking for.
Yeah, 100%. We have a research team going through all the models and getting the best that are out there to serve you. Right? Something that we don't take, we take it really seriously, because we know that we are the ones, we have the responsibility to put you up to speed. We have to make it easy for you. We have to make something that you don't waste time into.
Thank you. We kind of talked about this copyright and commercial use. You talked about ElevenLabs and that you can use the audio for commercial use. But what about all of the other stuff that's going on with video and image, and kind of where is that right now? And can agencies and folks in the audience, what can they gain from your insights?
I think that the top commercial safe models are Moon Valley's Mary and Adobe Firefly. I would say because the training data set is more limited, the capabilities are more focused on what's within the data set. Where you have also the Chinese models, who it's a little less. It's more the Wild West when it comes to the training data, but they're super powerful. So you have to draw that line in the sand. I think. Who is the director? James Cameron was saying, let's focus more on the outputs versus the inputs. Just because Maybe don't use, I want a Wes Anderson type aesthetic in your prompt, but, say something, I want vintage, bokeh, etc. Whereas the base training model might include IP, even YouTube, right? YouTube's Google Veo model, technically they have the rights to train on anything that was within YouTube. So anything that was posted there. That's still TBD when it comes to the courts and the legality side of it. But if you want to choose a more capable model, or if you want to choose something that's fully verified, they have all the receipts, there are options for doing any of those use cases.
I think it's important to note that, as far as I know, no end user has ever been sued. Is that correct?
I haven't checked.
The people who are getting sued are Midjourney. Midjourney is getting sued right now by Disney. They're getting sued by a couple different people. And in my opinion, there's no risk to me or any of my clients to create content with this technology right now. Some of my clients have mandates at their company, like you cannot use AI. You can't even use a generative fill inside of Photoshop if you wanted to. That's their decision, and if they tell me that, I'm not going to use Gen AI. The reality is that, I've worked with some big public tech companies here who wanted to do Gen AI, and their legal department questioned it. And I gave them documentation. I said, look, if we use VO, as long as I'm not stealing Darth Vader, they will indemnify me. They will indemnify you. So the client's indemnified. If somebody came back and said, hey, that is actually me, that actor turned out to be me, and I'm suing you, Google's lawyers will take your case for you. So there's nothing to be worried. There's no worry in my mind about it. The only worry would be if a client told me, you can't use it, Matt. Otherwise, we're using it. We're not even telling clients right now. We're doing shots right now where we're just banging them out in AI, and we could go create physics simulations inside of Houdini to create sheets of water coming down, or we could just prompt that thing and get sheets of water coming down. We're prompted.
Cool, thank you. And so, Matty, you're saying that for commercially safe stuff, Adobe right now, right? Is that?
We don't use Adobe because I think it sucks. Sorry.
Those are technically, the commercial safe models.
Okay, cool. All right. On to the next. What is the future forecast for AI in 2027? And then we'll show everybody's films.
I think advertisers and brands are much more open-minded. So PJA did a call sheet commercial during the NBA Finals. Coca-Cola and WPP do a lot of things with their IP, Kraft Heinz, where they're all, they all have R&D departments. They're all ready to go for the dam to break. It's just being able to warm up to it and be able to meet mainstream audiences. Because I think there are very vocal people who are anti-AI, but there are a lot of people who also don't care how the sausage is made, in terms of they want to see things that are as good, if not better, than what they're already watching. So I think in terms of advertisers and brands being more open to it, even for the Chrome Awards competition that I run, we're going to be splitting out advertising into its own separate division, where people make spec ads for brands, Nike, Adidas, that they don't have permission to for regular filmmaking all the time. But what if we could connect the brands with the creators, where they're giving a brief, where you're actually being that representative, where things are totally sanctioned? That's what we're hoping to do this year.
I agree 100% with them. Like we said before, during this 2025, we have a massive inbound in terms of the enterprise plan that we have and the business plan that we have. So I feel like that's gonna still ramp up. And also video. I feel like video is gonna be the thing this 2026. We're gonna see, we started seeing it this past year, but this year is gonna be okay, this is fidelity at itself.
Yeah, I think definitely video. What I've been seeing on our end is a lot of social media influencers even coming to us and asking us if we could help create content for them. They're trying to keep up with the fast pace of their social platform and their followers and things of that nature. And so we're finding creative ways of tapping into that and giving them the support where they need it.
I see everything that, if anybody who saw the Runway Aleph demo that came out 6 months ago, it was mind-blowing, and it was more utilitarian. It was like the type of work that we would normally do in a Flame or Nuke, where we're using it to remove signs on a moving bus, and the demos were incredible, and it turned out it was all demo magic. Like, it really doesn't work in production. That's what's coming this year. It's what I call video editing, not non-linear editing. It's editing of video similar to what we're doing on stills with Nano Banana. That's the next step. And then I'm really intrigued by how can AI integrate with 3D, so we could do video to video transfers, where we could just do rough play blast animations out of 3D and then transpose instead of rendering it with a 3D renderer, we're essentially rendering it with an AI video model. And then continuing with the convergence of AI with Unreal Engine. And then,
Yeah, I love those kind of rotoscoping use cases. That's been a technique that is probably like 100 years old, right? From the old original Walt Disney, if you've seen like Cinderella.
It was actually created by Max Fleischer, who he invented the rotoscope, Betty Boop.
Yeah, and for like things like Linklater films, they really use that kind of aesthetic where you can still act, you still need actors, you still need people to emote all of those intricacies. So I'm really excited for that type of content.
The world models. That's going to be.
I'm more
Don't you think?
I'm not super.
What? Say that to Faye Lee.
I think for production capabilities, it'll be great where you can rotate your shot for filmmakers. I think in terms of the coming from VR and 360 video, it's really hard to tell immersive storytelling and the.
Do you feel like you're gonna kind of lose control, kind of it?
I just think there isn't the viewership market. We're so into streaming and short form videos.
That's all about the future of video gaming. That's going to create new genres of video games that we don't even imagine yet. So Google Genie, you look at
Odyssey systems,
Odyssey with splats. That's a different world to me, but it is incredibly fascinating. But that's 2 years down the road.
Hey guys, we're running out of time, so I want to show everybody's film. So let's see what the filmmakers have made using AI. So this is Paul's film, and let's see it.
You didn't get the gift you actually wanted. Just socks and silence.
I'm not waiting for another year of socks, and neither should you. Why wait for next year? It's time to take matters into your own hands. Get ready, set, go! Get yourself an ultimate gift. Go to tvbirdbike.com.
Let's give a round of applause. All right, we will go to our next film by Matt.
In a world without data streaming, you might be waiting a while for that rideshare. And that flight the agent booked you on? It left 20 minutes ago. But don't worry. Your bank will catch the fraudulent purchases on your account. Eventually. Maybe. Try not to think about it. At work, you'd still be getting 3 a.m. alerts when the infrastructure breaks. And having to listen to your CEO talk about digital transformation in the morning. Because all your data is frozen here. Or at least it was. That's the world without data streaming. That's the world without you, and you, and you, and all of us. The pioneers who transformed the world we live in today with real-time data and who are already building the world we'll live in tomorrow. Real-time AI agents, instant analytics, unprecedented customer experiences, a world that's faster, smarter. Frankly, it's just better. That's the world we'll continue to build together. Welcome to Current 2025.
All right, let's give Matt a round of applause. Yeah. So that pretty much brings us to the end of this panel discussion, but hang around, meet everybody, ask questions, talk about Freepik, talk about ElevenLabs, talk about their films, and thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.